So in the next approach, we are going to be looking at how to use the extra row height to also introduce spacing in the rows. Okay, spacing that we need. All right. And so in this approach, what we should take note is that when you are using the extra row height command to introduce row spacing, that spacing is going to be introduced just above the rows. Changes will be applied to all the rows, like what we see here, and then for each of the rows you will see that spacing is applied just above it for each of the rows. That's what the extra row height does. So let's start. Let's move to the coding session and then start the exercise. So we will start by creating a new document. So again, we will do it here. So I will just say /document class 11 points pt and then article. I need to make sure everything is okay here. We will use /use package caption. Then we are going to add another package which we need. All right, so the other package that we need is called array. That's what we use for the extra row heights. So I'll say /use package array. Then I'll begin my document and then end the document. Then I'll create the default table first. We need that. So I'll just paste what we did previously, which is here. I'll just put it here. I'll just say default spacing. I can also say default. All right. So this is the default table, the table with the default spacing that we are going to compare what we will create with, which is here. Okay, default spacing. And then we are now going to create another table and introduce the row spacing. Okay, so here we are using the extra row height. So again, because we want the change to affect just that table we are going to create, I'll first indicate my curly bracket, which is here. It's very important we take note of that. So that curly bracket, or braces as we also call it, and then we are going to indicate our commands. So for the extra row height approach that we are going to use, we need to first set the length. And so what I'll do first is to say /set length. I bring my brace again. I'll say /extra row height. Then I will indicate the value I want, the row height. Okay, so this will influence the spacing that is indicated. So we need this information. So this is what we have now to set the length, and then we can now create the table and then proceed. So again, we are going to use the same table that we had previously. So I'll just paste it here, and then I'll just change this to extra row height. So just copy and paste the table and then you are okay. All right, so this is the table that we have. Right, so for those who are watching, if you have not copied and pasted it, you can also just check here. This is the table and then just work on it. All right, and if you have your own table that you also want to use, go ahead, you can also just paste it here. The most important thing is to know how to adjust the spacing with this command. That's what is important, right? So if you have your own table that you are also using, that's also perfect. Just use it and then get started. So this is it. And just make sure that you also have these braces. It's very important that you have them there as well. So now I'm going to run this command. So let's run it. and see what we get. All right, so this is the extra row height. We see that also here, and you can see that the spacing has been introduced above. All right, I'll just enlarge it here a bit. Let's enlarge it. All right, so if you compare this and this, you see that the spacing is what? Above the rows. So this is for extra row height. It's very, very simple. So basically all that I need to do is to just indicate this command, and then all your other commands for the table, you put it there. So any table at all, just use it and then you'll be fine. Just make sure you follow the syntax for LaTeX. I can adjust the spacing here with the value here and then run it. That also indicates the changes. So as for the spacing and then how much spacing you want, that is for you to decide. So you can try with different values and see which one makes sense to you or which one is okay for you, and then you just use that one. So this is for the extra row heights and how we use it to introduce or adjust the spacing in LaTeX tables. All right.